She said it like she was asking for a small favor. Like borrowing a charger. Like holding a place in line. Can you pretend to be my boyfriend for a while? We were standing outside a cafe, late afternoon sun cutting between buildings, the kind of quiet moment where honesty slips out by accident. She wouldn't quite meet my eyes. Her fingers twisted the strap of her bag. I blinked. For a while, how long is a while? Just tonight, she said quickly. Maybe the weekend. I exhaled a short laugh, trying to lighten the sudden tension in my chest. Okay, but I need to ask, do we have to kiss too? That made her look up. Her eyes widened, then softened into a smile that wasn't entirely playful. Only if it feels real, she said. I should have said no. We were coworkers, friends, comfortable in a way that felt safe because it never crossed lines, but the way she said real made something shift. What's going on? I asked. She hesitated, then sighed. My ex will be there, with his new girlfriend, and my family keeps asking why I'm still alone like it's some kind of failure. I nodded slowly, so I'm a shield. She winced. I was hoping you'd say partner. I looked at her then, really looked. The tension in her shoulders, the forced strength, the quiet tiredness of someone who's always expected to explain herself. Okay, I said finally, I'll do it. Her relief was immediate and complicated. Thank you, really. I promise I won't make it weird. I smiled faintly. That's usually how it starts. That evening she stood outside my place, clearly nervous. She'd changed clothes, nothing dramatic, just something that made her look more like herself. When she saw me, she smiled like she always did, then stopped. Wait, she said, we should probably practice. Practice what? She gestured vaguely between us. I raised an eyebrow. You're asking a lot for a pretend relationship. She laughed, then grew serious. Just act like you care. I do care, I said before thinking. She froze. Oh, she said softly, that might complicate things. The dinner was louder than expected. Her family was warm but curious. Her ex was there too, smug and confident. I felt her tense beside me the moment she saw him. Without thinking, I reached for her hand. She looked at me surprised. You okay? I asked quietly. She nodded, squeezing my fingers. Yeah, I am now. Throughout the night, little things happened. I pulled out her chair. She leaned toward me when she laughed. Someone joked about how well we fit together, and she smiled like she'd forgotten how. At one point, her ex made a comment, something careless and sharp. She stiffened. Before she could respond, I said calmly, she's doing great, happier than she's been in a long time. She looked at me then, really looked, and something in her eyes changed. Later, outside under string lights, she exhaled like she'd been holding her breath all evening. You were amazing, she said. You didn't have to do all that. I kind of did, I replied. That's what boyfriends do, even pretend ones. She laughed, then grew quiet. Can I ask you something honest? Always. Did it feel pretend to you? I thought about the way my hand still rested at her lower back, about how natural it had all felt. No, I said, not really. She swallowed, me neither. We stood there, the night humming around us. So, she said softly, about the kissing. I smiled, nervous now, only if it feels real, right? She nodded. I leaned in slowly, giving her time to stop me. She didn't. The kiss was gentle, unrushed, less about pretending and more about realizing something that had been waiting quietly for a long time. When we pulled back, she laughed under her breath. We're really bad at pretending. Yeah, I said, we should probably stop. She met my eyes, or we could stop pretending and see what happens. For the first time, the idea didn't scare me. It felt honest. We didn't say anything right away after that. Not because there was nothing to say, but because suddenly every word felt heavier, like it might tip something fragile if we chose it wrong. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, a nervous habit I'd seen 100 times, only now it meant something different. "So," she said finally, trying to sound casual, "does this mean you're officially fired from your role as pretend?" I smiled. I was never very good at pretending. She laughed softly, then glanced up at me, searching my face. "I don't want to rush this," she said. I don't want to lie to myself either." "Then don't," I replied. "We don't have to define anything tonight." That seemed to ease her. Her shoulders relaxed and she stepped a little closer, close enough that our arms brushed again, this time without surprise. We walked back to our cars slowly, like neither of us wanted the night to end too quickly. When we reached hers, she hesitated with her keys in hand. "Can I ask one more thing?" she said. "Of course." "Stay a little longer," she said. "Not inside, just here." So we leaned against the car, the air cool, the street quiet. She told me things she'd never said out loud, how hard it had been after her last relationship ended, how being alone didn't scare her as much as being misunderstood. I listened, really listened, the way you do when you know someone is trusting you with something important. "You make me feel seen," she said at one point, almost surprised by her own words. "That goes both ways," I said. When we finally said goodnight, there was no dramatic goodbye, no promises, just a second kiss, lighter than the first but warmer somehow. The next morning my phone buzzed. "Did you make it home okay?" I smiled before I even realized I was smiling. From then on, things unfolded quietly. Coffee turned into dinners. Dinners turned into walks that lasted too long. We laughed about how strange it was that something real had grown out of something fake. One evening, weeks later, we were sitting on her couch, legs tangled comfortably, the TV playing to an audience of none. "You know," she said, resting her head on my shoulder, "I don't think I ever needed a pretend boyfriend." I glanced down at her. "What did you need?" She smiled, "Someone who stayed." I kissed the top of her head, feeling something settle into place inside me. "I'm not going anywhere," I said. And this time, it didn't feel like a line from a role we were playing. It felt like the truth.